below the funds. So, we could continue selling, but it looks like a sideways market. It didn't look much of a sideways market yesterday. There are too many pips inside there, and people were, it was really, it wasn't very comfortable for so many people. But yeah, it looks, it looks okay the way it is right now. You don't need to rush into anything at the moment. There is this big bust here. Yeah, whatever has caused that, it's it's maybe a bounce from this 50.0 and being resisted at that 38.2. Maybe just keep on waiting and see when those events come out affecting the US dollar. Yeah, we can continue selling. We can start selling or whatever. Yeah, so if you're still in that trade from yesterday, then yeah, you've just entered some losses from some time. You were in a profit of about 33 pips. Yeah, that's the profit that you should have taken, 33 pips. Okay, about 30 pips. Yeah, so if you are trading and you had 30 pips profit, 300 pips, which was the reality about a few hours ago. That was the reality. 300 points times your lot size, if it is 0.5, you get about $150 there. If you didn't take it, then right now you're looking at some loss of about $50, negative 50. Yes, right now it's about negative 50. Or you could have taken 150 down there somewhere earlier on today. But that's okay. Price could still be, moving bearish. Anything can happen. Could make more profit as the day goes on. Yeah, shall just keep on waiting and see what happens. Okay, GBP USD 4-hour chart. This is what we drew yesterday, following this price action here, where we had this upward trend that broke this line here, this trend line, and then tested it and started moving. So yeah, price is still being held in between these funds of the 38.2 and the 50.0. There has been some effort to break out, but looks like price is still continuing in that direction. Yeah, so those were the funds for supporting price going down. These ones were for buying, and okay, so it looks like this was a previous trend, which I think it has maxed out its significance according to this strategy. So this one has the current trend that is there, and it's quite significant here. Can't really say for sure that we have a reversal somewhere there. All I can say is maybe we're looking at, okay, it still looks like an upward trend, though it's being very, very slow. Okay, so what we have right now is price above the 61.8 on this Fibonacci retracement levels, at the same angle with the 50.0. So we have an intersection of the 50.0 and the 61.8 in this upward movement, and there's also a very strong area of resistance up there. Price hasn't broken. So looking at this, price looks bullish. It looks bullish, and having this long tail down there. You can see the previous long tail that was there. We had price moving further upwards, and we have another long tail there. Maybe price will continue to move further upwards. Yeah, but we're in a good. It looks good to buy this one here. It looks like it's not in a very strong bullish movement, but yeah, it's a strong trend. We can't really discard it. It has been buying for some time, though sluggishly, but it's still moving upward. So the best place to buy is still above these areas of above this area of support. And I think previously it was around there. It hasn't gone so far beyond it, but if it moves up there, then we can seriously buy. If we get any signs of a reversal, okay, we have some kind of divergence taking place. It's not very, very nice. We have this we have these tops. We have the higher highs on the chart and the lower highs on this RSI. So we have a small case of divergence there. Maybe it will respect it. Maybe we can't be too sure, but we see price. The RSI is now breaking below the 50 mark, so it could easily become oversold when the price is still above there, and that will give us a continuing trend. And that will take some time, given that this is a 4-hour chart. But yeah, we're going to keep on monitoring this chart until we get some trades out of it. Okay. Yeah, so let's take a look at some other charts. No, then let's look at the app and get some charts from the app. I uploaded this app to my social media platform. Okay, I think some people have been looking at it like this. It has been, yeah, sometimes if your network is not very stable, then you're going to have a lot of trouble loading this data. It's a lot of data coming from so many places, and yeah, compiling it in one place, it's quite hectic, but yeah, it gets the job done. So this is how the app generally loads. I put on the app that supports Android phones, but you know, for iOS and Mac PCs and generally computers, you can go to the URL. This one here, I think I put it on the group as well. It points you directly to this page that I'm on right now. Yeah, and the app makes it a bit easier. You have about 5 pages clustered in one. You have like 5 charts clustered into one area where you can view them without taking a lot of data. But this one here has so many charts, and because there are so many, they use up a lot of data to load, and you know, you need to have a very strong computer or device, whatever you're using. You need a very strong device to accommodate all this data coming from all these time frames and all those different charts. Yeah, so financial markets are a bit, they also require you to have some good gadgets, not very powerful gadgets, but some nice gadgets which you can really rely on. Okay, so this one here is loading. We can just take a look at some charts that have been following up. Okay, the euro versus the New Zealand dollar. Yeah, it's very bearish. It has sold. So this one here broke this this area of divergence that we put. It actually broke it, and price is continuing downwards, and it's most likely going to reach that 23.6. Still need to know how this Fibonacci was drawn. Okay, so it was drawn based on this price movement in the daily chart. So we have a long-term upward movement right there, and let me open this 4-hour chart and see exactly what. Okay, so this euro versus the New Zealand dollar. Let me isolate it. Today, I really want to use these. I want to use these Elliott waves as much as possible so that they can make sense for many people. People look at them and they're a bit difficult. I'm tell you the truth. They're a bit complex, but you know, they're very useful at the same time. It's good to have as much information as possible. As you're loading these waves here, you will see other things. They'll be very useful in so many ways. Okay, so we have this is the reversal, obviously. On the let me put it into the 4-hour chart. Okay, so on this 4-hour chart, let me remove this. So we have this this reversal, which is that, and so we have wave number 1. I think it stopped around there. Okay, maybe no, stopped around there. Then wave number 2 is a bit. It's a bit. Okay, there's another high point anyway. I don't really ignore that one. So you can take that high point, and this wave which becomes sluggish there moves to the top there. So we have wave 1, wave 2, and then wave 3. So we have wave 3 there. So if we measure wave 1, we have about 7,600 points. Wave 3 has about 7,000 something. So wave 3 is supposed to be so much longer than wave 1. So this one here definitely cancels out the whole Elliott wave theory. So Elliott waves, they will do things like that to you. You will get some areas and then you will somehow have to abandon it because it doesn't follow the rules of the waves. You have to really follow the rules. So wave 1 and wave 3 must not be almost equal. Wave 3 must be very, very, very long. So here we don't yet have that very long wave. And yeah, we can get rid of that chart for now. Okay, so let's get back to this one. Euro USD has loaded properly. So, you have 50% saying buy and another 50% saying sell. Now this 50% is bigger than this one. But this one here, it's this one here is a sharpshooter. It gives you that spike. Normally gives you that spike, but okay, it's still nice. But these ones here might overpower these ones later on, so you have to be very careful. We don't really have synchronized movement there. Can move on to GBP USD. Yeah, that one is still very bullish. There's a lot of support for upward movement from the small time frames to the big time frames. We've looked at that chart. USD versus the Japanese yen. Yeah, today is the Emperor's birthday. Yeah, that's what the celebration looks like in Japan. Let's just take a look at that chart and see what's happening today. Yeah, those Japanese really. USD JPY. Okay, that's GBP JPY. Okay, so we're having some. Okay, we're having some small bullish movement there. Okay, it's not so bad. So I can attempt to use the Elliott wave theory here, but yeah, it's becoming like a new toy. I want to use it everywhere all the time. Okay, so for this one here, we have this upward. Okay, we have this trend line here that was, let me bring it from the real bottom there. So, okay, so we have this, we have this trend line somehow respected. There's this first bounce, the second bounce. Then that happened, price moved down. So we have some downward movement there. We can use another new toy that. The Fibonacci funds, it has now become a new toy. We see how these funds are going to dictate the future price movement. So we have this support at the 50.0, just a tail, but it's just support from the 38.2. Price is still struggling to seriously break it. Yeah, so we have these areas here to look out for. So we can, if you're selling, could probably sell to this 50.0, maybe, or to this 61.8. There is some good pips to collect there. About 45 pips, yeah, between the 38.2 and the 61.8, based on this, and yeah. So this area is still a bit higher. It's still higher than this previous low, but if we add these other retracement areas, it makes a little bit, some more sense. So in case this is a downward trend, it has really maxed out all its movement. We have price being supported at the 38.2, then resisted at the 23.6, then there is more support at the 50.0, more resistance at the 38.2, then to the 50.0, where it has an intersection of the 50.0 and the 61.8 of the Fibonacci funds and retracement levels. So there we can, if we can continue selling. Right now it is being perfectly resisted at the 50.0 of the retracement levels, and also on the line of the 38.2 of the funds. So it can be safe. I think this 61.8 line could give some good guidance on where to put your stop loss. Depending on how price moves, it's probably going to hit the 61.8 level at some point. So it will give you some good, coverage, some good, a good area to be very careful and to just keep away from over trading. So when price reaches there, you will have some caution there, and you'll be a bit careful. Okay, and that's in a 4-hour chart of this USD JPY. It's also somehow a bit selling. These big charts are buying, but I think they're all going to turn to sell sometime soon. And especially with these events that are affecting the US dollar, once they come out at 5 and 5, was it 5:40? Was it 5:45? So 5 p.m. and 5:45, and also 6 p.m. Then later on there'll be these bill auctions at 7:30 and 9 p.m. So all those events, they're going to give you some. They'll push this price. Obviously, those events look good for the US dollar. So a chart like this one, okay, they're good for the US dollar, but they will push price up. Yeah, if depending on the market impact anyway, and depending on how those particular events affect the US dollar in Japan, the market impact here could be, if it follows the technicals, we could have some downward movement, or we could probably buy to the 38.2 of these Fibonacci retracement levels. So that's a very big possibility. So we wait for that time to reach, and then we shall see how to move. If we make the wrong choice, then we analyze afterwards. If we make the right choice, then we shall celebrate and tell everyone that we are very, very sharp. That's what we normally do. You tell someone you're sharp just because you survived. You survived narrowly. Okay. This is gold. I may not say much about that right now. Let's go through the list and get some charts that are actually trending in one direction and see how to trade those ones, how far they could be going. Okay, so many charts really look like there's a lot of selling and buying. Those are signs of, okay, this one is something unique. We have strong sell in the 1-minute chart, 5-minute chart, 15, 30, 1 hour. Yeah, I think this is 1 day, this is 4 hours, and this is 1 hour and 4-hour chart. Anyway, there's a lot of strong selling movement in this chart. That's the GBP versus the Australian dollar. Okay, let's take a look at that one and see how to see what exactly is happening there, and see if we can make any sense out of it and get some money out of it. Probably. GBP Australia. Okay, so there's a lot of selling movement, and okay, so in this 1 hour chart, we have a major area of support that price has broken. Yeah, that's a good sign. Yeah, that's a very good sign. So we had price moving downwards. It has been moving downwards for quite some time. And when it got to this level here, it started moving in a sideways kind of, this range market. But now it has really moved far below this area of support. So that is, that is quite good. We don't really have a trend as such, but we have bearish price movement and can make some small pips off that. Let's maybe try to locate a trend in a bigger time frame. Let's look in a daily time frame. Okay, we could make some sense there. Let me put this RSI. See if we can get some high points and some low points. Okay, so in this daily chart, we have we have these low highs, and we have what looks like higher highs. Yeah, they're not very, they're really nice. You can't really ignore any of this stuff. So we most definitely have what looks like a downward trend in this daily chart. And looking at this previous short trend, can now draw our Fibonacci's from this low point, the body, to this other point, which is the body of that one. And okay, let me remove this area of support that I had drawn. Yeah, but to have price, safely below the 23.6, probably headed for this 38.2. The areas of significance there in the past price movement. There is that area of support, resistance. There is this breaking area, which looks it looks quite good. We have this 23.6 up here. We have this area of resistance and support at the 61.8. So there are some significant areas in the previous price movement that can give us some good confidence that we're going to sell long term and make some money. So here scalping might be a bit of a risk, but a long term trade here looks very clear. If you start selling below the 38.2, for example, the pips in between that and the 50.0 are about 112. Yeah, and this is a daily chart, so it could maybe take a month or two, but that's okay. Yeah, that is okay. From where the price is right now to that 38.2, there is a 91 pips. Yeah, but price is still in that sort of a range market from these smaller time frames. So breaking out of this whole area will be very, very important. Yeah, we have what looks like a head and shoulders kind of thing. There was also that same pattern there. Yeah, it's not very picture perfect, but you can identify that we have head and shoulders there. That is price action. Yeah, it's called head and shoulders. The names in these things are sometimes you just take it as it is. If it gets you some pips, then heads and shoulders it is. You don't really have to really mind what they call it, as long as it gets you some good pips. So there's that whole thing happening there. Price action in the daily chart. We have divergence moving downwards. You have this retracement levels showing us this safe zone. Yeah, it's enough. This is a good distance to make a decision. Either you're going to sell below the 38.2, or you're going to buy somewhere up there, I think, above the topmost point, because there is a lot of resistance coming from above. But if it breaks through all that resistance, then you can buy. But selling, we're very close to an opportunity to enter a selling trade. So here, this one, just take your time and watch it every day. Start following it, stalking it until you get some results. Okay. Let's see if any other charts have some nice movement. Australia, Japan, Australia, New Zealand. Okay, Australia, Japan. Yeah, let's just take a look at. I think this will be the last chart for today. The Australian dollar versus the Japanese yen. Now that will be the last one. Can just take a very brief look at it. And okay, I've identified it. So the Australian dollar versus the Japanese dollar. It looks to be in a range market, but it's somehow bullish, but looks like it has hit a certain ceiling up there, so we can't really trade this one. Buying, so you might see a lot of buying movement on the up, but not so much on the chart. So don't just buy because the up tells you that everything is moving upwards, and don't just sell because you see all the boxes in there are pointing to a downward trend. Yeah, just look at the chart as well and see how it is moving, and then you'll be able to identify where the areas of resistance are. And for a chart like this one here, where price looks like it has hit a certain ceiling based on the previous price movement, you can be very sure that you've hit a point of resistance because all these time frames are telling you that they are very bullish, but the price is being resisted. So you have a lot of indicators telling you to buy, but then the price itself is not moving because it's it has hit the ceiling. So that's a good way to identify an area of resistance, and from there you can make a decision to sell or to look for an entry point to sell. From that, so that is And that's how I normally use the app. So if it's not very clear, if I don't have enough room left to make a trade, then I most likely have hit a resistance or a support level. So you take advantage of that as well, and practice using it. Just keep on practicing and practicing. If you don't have the app, it's now on my Telegram channel. You can just search for my name without a space, and on Telegram, and it's already there. You just download it and use it. If not, the URL is also there. You can use it on Apple, on all those Apple gadgets, and your PCs and wherever, and it will be a lot easier than like that. Okay, so I think this Australian dollar versus the Japanese yen, it's the last chart for today. Yeah, so we just keep on watching the news and following up on those events and see how they impact these charts, and you can make some good profits later on in the evening or in the night. Many markets are ranging, so be very, very careful when you're scalping. You might start selling at the bottom, or you might start buying at the top of a bigger time frame, which is very, very scary. You can end up waiting for 5 days to make a profit. Okay, so very soon we shall be looking at NFTs. NFTs have become something very, very sort of controversial. The whole controversial aspect comes from people who believe a certain way and those also who believe another way. Yeah? So sometimes these new technologies come about now, like those NFTs. Yeah? If you look at the market pack, if you look at how much money that NFTs are commanding in the market, it's a lot of money. It's bigger than the stock market now. And any market that takes over the stock market is a really big market. And people are becoming very rich in very small periods of time. Someone doesn't really work so much, but they end up becoming very rich in very small time frames. So NFTs are like this. Okay, it's like cryptocurrency. The way people got a lot of money from Bitcoin, that is how NFTs are giving people a lot of money. So NFTs have a certain they have a certain gap on the blockchain. It's a very, very encrypted space that where that NFT, where their block is. So if you purchase it, then you have a very, very secure location to store whatever you want. So people are selling. You can see like pictures of cartoons. You can see some funny paintings, all digital, but you find that someone is buying it at about $9 million, $5 million. Yeah, but it's what's behind that image that that they're really interested in. So it's quite something. We shall look at it in depth and see how you can benefit from it. The good thing about having the internet these days, you can benefit from literally anything that is online. Yeah, you just need some information and some practice, and then you can benefit. There is no one who is excluded from anything these days. You can trade, you can buy stock, and you can make a profit off any of these assets. So let's take advantage of this in the future. Yeah, so I think that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Goodbye.
But you still have 3 minutes.